How you doing? It's Cripple3030. This is season 1, episode 2 of my live streams. My topic today is going to be prisoners and the government shutdown. I actually felt compelled to come out with this live stream speaking about the government shutdown because I'm watching CNN every day, NBC, CBS News, News 12, and almost nearly all the news stations keep speaking about the government shutdown, but the only effects that they're speaking about is the federal employees. They're speaking about the TSA. They're speaking about a lot of agencies that are imperative to the government. However, they keep forgetting to mention the effects that it may have on the lower income families and an extension to the prison community, which is my concern right now. Um, the recidivism rate right now for 2018 is well, actually in a 2018 report that came out from the U.S. Department of Justice, the recidivism rate for the 9 years between 2005 and 2014 was actually at 83%. The prisoners that were released in those years were arrested again within those 9 years. The 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 highness of that recidivism rate seems to be forgotten by the government, by the news, and everybody else when they speak about these situations that's happening as a result of the government shutdown. The government shutdown is also going to affect, besides besides the TSA, besides the federal government, besides the Homeland Security, besides Border Patrol, it also is going to affect the food stamp services, right? Welfare services, Section 8. Um, it's going to affect our economies. It's going to affect the MTA, which is the transportation that a lot of low income families use right now. A lot of low income families don't have cars, so they tend to use the MTA. It's about to affect that also. The MTA is actually a New York City run system. However, they get about $180 million or more from the federal government. That's about to dry up. So when that dries up, guess what? That means they cut down on employment, they lay people off. The train systems get messed up, the schedules get messed up. That means people can't get to work. The people in low income neighborhoods, they can't afford to miss work. They already don't make enough money. So now on top of that, they missing work. They're not making money to support their families, right? The food stamp services. This is how people, some of us, eat, right? So if they take away, so if they end up taking away the um the food stamp services, that means there's going to be a lot of families hungry. That means the rents can't get paid, right? Section 8. A lot of low income families use Section 8 so that way they can survive and it can help pay for their rent. But if they take away these services, which will be effective because these are federal systems and federal programs that's in place, then how are they going to pay their rent? That means homelessness is about to shoot up, right? Now, I was talking about how it relates to prisons, right? And prisoners. A lot of prisoners have loved ones out here that are on the low income ratio. Now, if they have no money to provide for their food, that means they can't even go visit their loved ones, right? That means they can't send them the little $5 or $10 that they were sending them for their commissary. That means they can't buy stamps so they could write their loved ones in prison, right? So that's going to cause stress, right? That's going to cause problems within the prison system because sometimes these visits is what keeps these prisoners from getting into trouble when they're behind the wall. If they get into trouble behind the wall, that means they can't be released and they lose their shots to be able to be released on parole and so on and so forth, right? So it's a whole domino effect, right? Um, Now, a lot of people may not be concerned about the prisoners that are in prison. I get that all the time. Every time I post up in Facebook or social media about how it would affect prisons and prisoners, I always get they're criminals and they deserve everything and this and that. I mean, I just believe that, right? But now let's look at another aspect, right? That may concern a lot of people in society, including these people that I just explained to you, was showing prejudice against prisoners because they're in prison, right? People in society don't want crime out here, right? But yet you have prisoners being released into these type of situations, right? They're being released into to the streets where their families can't even afford food, right? Because a lot of these programs help them out, right? If they're being released into a household that was dependent on federal programs, so that way they could pay for their rent, that means they're in threat of being kicked out and being evicted. So these prisoners are being released to them type of situations. Now, if you take a prisoner, right, and then you throw him into this type of situation, you throw him right into the middle, right? A lot 9 times out of 10, he came to society without much education from the system itself or preparation for to reintegrate back into society. So now it's like you're taking a prisoner out of prison and throwing them into a corner and say, listen, you got no food, your family got no food. Now go and survive, but don't get into trouble. Don't get into trouble with the law. Um, 9 times out of 10, those people are gonna go back to doing what they know what to do best, right? They're gonna commit a crime. So that recidivism rate that I was talking about is gonna double, right? Now that harms the community because guess what? When they commit a crime, right, people are hurt, right, in some form or fashion, whether it's financial or physical, but people are hurt, right? The community gets destroyed, property is destroyed. Um, the government has to pay to house the prisoners again, so now they're destroyed financially, right? So these are concerns to society. So now the whole point for my message is why make these type of situations where we got to struggle just because Donald Trump, right, wants to build a wall along Mexico? Why not pass a bill where the wall is separate and he can open up the government on the end, right? Isn't that what everybody keeps suggesting? That's what the Democratic House keeps suggesting. The Senate is stopping all these bills from going through, right? They saying Mitch McConnell specifically, which is the head of the Senate on the Republican side right now, he's refusing to even vote on a bill that he believes that Donald Trump is going to be against, because Donald Trump has already said that he's gonna veto any bill that doesn't include funding for his war. This war is not even going to be finished before Donald Trump get out of office. So why would he put people at peril and go through all these situations for this war, right? I mean, I'm not a politician. I'm not in the government. I don't have no say so over the law. But my concern is the prison community right now, right? So, because this is where I came from, I didn't offer you a little history in the beginning, but I'll offer it now in case you didn't know. In case this is the first video that you tuned into from me, I'm actually an ex-prisoner by myself. I was incarcerated from 1992 when I was 16 years old until 2005 when I was 30 years old, right? I actually started a show called Backtalk of Cripple3030. The reason was so that we could have a platform to speak about what really happens in prison, about the system, about how it affects our loved ones, and how it affects society, right? So that way society can have a true picture of what happens behind the walls in the prison system. I actually interview staff, I interview ex cons or ex prisoners. I interviewed the loved ones of staff and prisoners, so that way we can see all aspects of the arguments, right? And then I let the viewers decide. It's actually it airs on BronxNet right now on channel 68 and channel 34 on TV, and all over the world on www.bronxnet.org, right? At Monday nights at 10 p.m. Sorry. And from there, I put my archived episodes right here on this YouTube channel so that everybody can see it at any time they want. These live streams is actually my form of giving you my own biography and giving you my own thoughts, sort of like my vlog, and letting you know what I believe in different situations and describing my personal experiences, right? So this government shutdown, it affects the prison community. And I really wanted to speak up because I want to speak up and I want to direct my message to the prisoners that were released, right? I want to direct my messages to the loved ones of the prisoners that are about to be released into these type of situations, right? Um, I need you to stay focused. I don't want to see you go back to prison, right? I'm telling you that right now. No matter what the situation is, do not go out there and commit a crime so that way you could go back to prison. Do not become part of the do not become another number, right? Don't get part of that recidivism rate, right? They'll forget you, right? You don't want that. I don't want that. So please stay focused. If you're a loved one for a prisoner who's just incarcerated and just released, if you're a loved one for a prisoner that's about to be released, please show him support. Let him see the love that you have for him, right? Or her. Let them see the effects how it would hurt you if they went back to prison. That way, hopefully, it'll cause that little hesitation in them and say, you know what, I'm not going out tonight because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. I'm gonna go find a job. I'm gonna go to reentry services. I'm gonna go find me a job. I'm gonna do something positive with my time instead of getting myself into trouble. If you fall on hard times, find an agency to help you. Find some type of way to get food pantries. Try to find a job. You got a lot of local businesses that may hire you, even though you have a criminal history. But tough it out. All right, it's bad. These are bad times. This government shutdown is going to affect us hard. It's actually already affecting a lot of us. But please don't let that draw you in. I don't want to see you in prison again. I'd welcome you as a guest on my show, uh, and I really would just like you to stay out here in society and see what goes on out here in society and experience that with your loved ones. So please, I'm begging you, stay focused, right? Because you're like a part of me, right? And you is me, right? And if I can do it and I can stay out here, I would love for you to do it too. It's hard, it's difficult, it's a lot of work, but you can do it. If you have a support system, utilize it. If you don't get one, please get one. You need a support system. The support system comes in very handy. If you have a positive plan on what you're going to do out here, stick to it, build it, expand on it, expound it. If you don't have a plan, get one. You need one. If you're a loved one for a prisoner, please hug him or her. Let them know that you love them. Let them know that you miss them if they go back to prison. Let them know of all the times that you cried when they wasn't around. All right. So with that, I want you to go and subscribe to my channel. I want you to like this video. If you have a comment, say the comment at the end. I'll answer you. I'll respond to you. And with that, I'm gonna sign off. Like I always sign off. Never, ever, ever be silent. Talk back right here on Backtalk with Cripple3030. Take care.